What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode here on OG55. Today, I got George, the Italiano, and I have the man himself, Orange Grove 55. And today, we are talking about deals, discounts, and just really park competitiveness. So, OG, let's go right into it.
Let's dive right in, gentlemen. Oh, that kind of rhymed, man. That was kind of cool. That was smooth. You know? This is from Mr. Scott Gustin, friend of the channel. Walt Disney World reveals details for the Florida resident summer magic ticket, valid through May 18th to September 27th, available to purchase starting May 6th. A 4-day is $240 plus tax, a 3-day is $225, and a 2-day is $210. So we got some deals being made from a Florida resident. Now, George, I mean, you're kind of you're technically now you're a Californian.
Woke up looking for the box.
But I mean, and technically you've never been a Florida resident, but you kind of had like more of that Florida connection back then. Is this normal to kind of like tap into like the locals? I feel like Disney World is more of a tourism thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of times the Florida residents felt like they were kind of getting the short end of the stick when every time, they would give out the California resident, discounts for Disneyland tickets and what have you. And a lot of people were saying that, because, Disneyland is more of a locals park. And yeah, Walt Disney World is more of a traveling vacation destination. So they never really honed in on Florida residents. But more recently, I'd say within like the last year, that they started like throwing out a lot of Florida resident discounts and kind of like promotions to kind of lure people in. Now that tells me, I'm wondering if, because since with Walt Disney World, it's more of a traveling vacation destination, that a lot of locals aren't really going to Walt Disney World, being that since they live in the state, they're going elsewhere. So being that it's kind of like a pool, because people will then be going over to Universal's Epic Universe, it's like, okay, well, how can we kind of sustain them to stay in the mouse house, so to speak? So I could definitely see that could be a strategy as to why.
Yeah. So, George, great points. And I was wanting to bring up, too, that along with what you were saying, it's like, these are actually really good prices. I mean, you look at a 4-day, $240 for 4 days at Walt Disney World. I mean, to me, I've never been to Walt Disney World, but to me, that's really good.
Those prices, it is really good for a 4-day.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, absolutely. And I think what is too, right? Because we knew back in the day, right, when Disneyland used to have, I know this is Walt Disney World, but when Disneyland used to have, off-peak times, right? That was when the annual pass holders would kind of fill in the parks, right? This is kind of, I feel like, a same scenario with Walt Disney World, because in terms of Epic Universe, right? Everybody knows, everybody and their mom knows Epic Universe is opening, right? And of course, that's going to, cannibalize Universal's own parks, but it's also going to take crowds and guests from Walt Disney World. So I think with this being said, they're stating here they're targeting the Florida residents, right? So even if you're not an annual pass holder, let's say you want to take your mom or something for like a 4-day stay, $240 for 4 days, that's a good deal. I'm gonna hit it up, right? So again, we are seeing this competitiveness on the East Coast with Universal and Disney. I mean, they're way more competitive over there than over here on the West Coast. But I think this is a good deal, and I would love to see Disney do more of these. And now, here's the thing, too, guys. These parks are always going to have, deals and discounts and whatever, right? However, I personally feel that in this year, or even last year and this year, that these theme parks across the world really are in a really tight competitive market. I mean, look, we have these fucking high tariffs going on right now, right? We have people losing their jobs all across the country. Jobs is closing, offices closing, prices are going up on everything. People cannot really afford these high expense theme parks really much anymore, unless you want to go into debt, or you have multiple sources of income or a really good paying job. So how are you going to track the average kind of person who makes about, your average income to be able to want to come to these places? Let's say for me or OG and now George, we got to buy a plane ticket, fly out there, right? If someone wants to come here from Wyoming or something, they got to fly over here. So there's a lot more expense when it comes to traveling, right? For us, we're locals here, so it makes it more convenient for us, and it's easier for us same for people in Florida, right? It's more convenient and easier. So there's a huge competitiveness going on in the theme park market, and every company is trying to address it in their own way. Because now it's like, okay, everything's expensive, but we still are going to charge high prices, but we still have to maintain the quality, right? So how do we do it? How do we bring these guests to our park? Because I'm Disney, I'm trying to take away from Universal, but also I'm trying to take away from SeaWorld and Legoland and Busch Gardens and whatever else, right? But every company's doing the same thing.
They're all doing the same thing because there's a competition factor, 100%. They're all vying for your dollar, and there is an economy that's pretty rocky right now, and a lot of uncertainty with the tariffs, like you were saying, Eva, and all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts here. So yeah, Epic Universe, I would agree with you. Epic Universe is definitely part of this equation for Florida, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, Universal has been doing a really good product lately, even out here in California with FanFest and stuff. Like Universal is really on their game right now, you know? So Epic Universe is fantastic. And I'm sure Disney does want to mitigate some of that. But at the same time, it's also bigger than that, right? It's like there's a lot of economic concerns. You know, we've been talking about this slowdown for the summer of 2025 for a long time here on the channel. So it's interesting, but I mean, there are deals galore. This is from Disney, Disney.com. I mean, summer offers, you can earn up to $400 gift card. Now, U.S. military members, that's awesome. They should be doing that. I mean, specifically priced theme park tickets in 2025. The military discounts, you know, these men and women, our heroes, absolutely always provide that, you know. But
yeah, absolutely. OG, if you scroll down, I think there's like because I saw some other ones I wanted to see too, like annual pass holders save up to 30% on select villas and rooms. George, what do you think about these discounts? Now, again, like I said, right, these parks are always going to offer something, but look at this, 40%, 30%. Is this Walt Disney World, which I know it is, trying to be like, hey, pass holders, come stay on property. We need you guys to book our rooms.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing with that. It's kind of like a double-edged sword with that. I can understand, that they could be in the competitive market, as you were mentioning, Ebo, like with the struggling times, like with the tariffs and the world economics and all that. And then also too with the competitiveness with Universal, with Epic Universe. However, a lot of those offers that specifically with the annual pass holders, they used to do that a lot pre-pandemic.
Right.
And you would get that a lot because it would entice people to become and stay an annual pass holder for Walt Disney World. That's why for a long time I was a Walt Disney World annual pass holder. Actually, I was the Premier Passport. I used to have one for Walt Disney World and Disneyland together in one pass before our good friend Bobby Chapes decided to axe that one. And along with Magical Express, but those kind of special deals they would kind of throw at us like in random times, like during this particular season, during this particular time, get 35% off select Walt Disney World resort hotels and what have you. So I think that's not even just
like a new thing.
I think that's basically coming back like out of the ashes of like the shutdown and the pandemic and what have you, which is that's good to see. Because also too, they started bringing back the free dining. If you a non-discounted 4-night, 4-day Walt Disney World package, you can get, depending on what hotel you're staying at. If you're staying at a deluxe hotel, you get the free dining plan. If you're staying at a moderate or a value hotel, you get the free quick service dining. And those dates run from, let me just see, I had the dates right here. June 29th to September 30th.
Wow.
October 20th to November 1st, and December 6th to December 22nd.
Well, okay. So George, so those deals, they don't have any for 2025 from January to now.
Correct. Right.
Okay, so see that's interesting. They're running those deals through the summertime and then through fall and winter.
And then also too, starting in 2026 for the Walt Disney World 2026 package deals, depending on what kind of package you purchase, they also will have the kids free dining, which they'll be starting that.
So what do you think? So George, so with kids free dining, right? Is that something that was usually done before? Because I know dining stuff was usually done for discount, right?
They never had just specifically for kids.
Right. So I want to ask you about that. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that they're targeting kids on this? Because I know like it's like families have like 4 or 5 kids nowadays, right? And that adds up a lot. So why do you think they're targeting kids in this situation?
Yeah, I actually just based off of really what you're saying, because I think people still love to take those Disney trips to those Disney destinations. But yeah, if you have 3, 4 kids, which people do, I'll even just say, even if you have 2 kids, the prices are like expensive. So what a better way to kind of lure in families to say, hey, if your kids get hungry, you get a free dining, so because anytime you put the term kids onto it, it's a popularity of saying, oh, they're looking out for the kids. Me personally, I couldn't give 2 shits. It's like, I'm more so worried about me. It's coming out of my wallet. So I mean, like in the words of Tweety from Space Jams, feed me. It's like, but no, I think it's really great that for families that have like multiple kids, I think that at least gives them the opportunity to consider, hey, it may be expensive to go to Walt Disney World, but maybe we could at least save on buying meals.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we all know that meals at Disney are not cheap, George.
Right? They're not, especially when you ask the waiter to pick for you.
Oh shit! Yes,
we're plugging Citrico Central's latest video. Check it out on the channel.
Check it out, Citrico Central.
check it out. So just so everyone's aware, give a little context while we're messing with George. They went to Naples. They went to Naples in downtown Disney. They let the waiter pick their meal, and it was a price tag. I won't say what, but it was a price tag for sure.
Which is actually kind of funny because honestly, whatever he would have picked, it would have been expensive no matter what, because they handed us the menus ahead of time. So I briefly like skimmed like where we could be like getting into. And you're looking at $30-$40 a plate.
That's crazy, bro. I think the next video you guys got to do is you got to go to like one of these bars and have the bartender pick your drinks.
Oh no, I'm saving that for you and me.
Yeah, there you go. That'll be the bar chat to end all bar chats. Okay.
Yes. Oh my god, that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
But OG, I believe we have another page, sir. If you like to take us.
Yeah, absolutely. We got more discounts. Disneyland anniversary ticket offer. Visit for as low as $100 per day with a special 4-day ticket. We got save up to 20% on select rooms at Disneyland Resort Hotel on Sunday through Thursday nights.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Book early, save up to 30%. We got save up to 20% on select stays during the 70th celebration. That's wild.
Now this kind of strikes me as not really for anything competitive, because I mean, Disney and Universal will always be in that competitive mode, of wanting up each other in a healthy way, which is good. But when it comes time for something like this, I feel like this was a decision probably because of the economic changes that are happening right now. I feel like when it comes time for Disneyland.
Well, right. Disneyland Resort holds weight. I mean, Disneyland Resort, Universal, just based on how much capacity they have, literally couldn't surpass Disneyland. It's very unlikely. I don't even know if they physically can even hold that many people, to be honest with you. Theme Park Wizard, if you're watching, let us know. But I think capacity wise, Universal Hollywood is not big enough to even really feasibly do that, right? And I love Universal, man. I've been really bullish on it lately. I've been having a great time over there. But you're right, George. I mean, it's not as competitive out here in California. It just isn't. I mean, in Florida, Universal's way more competitive. They got 3 parks now, a water park. They're doing things, but over here, it's still a pretty small park. Go ahead.
However, I will say, and Disney, I hope you're listening, because you listened to me so far. You've been listening to the Italiano. You got to step up your game with these after-hour events, because when it comes time for that, Universal Hollywood got you one up on that one. I'm sorry, but
oh yeah, dude, absolutely.
George,
but when it comes time for this, anyways, I think this has to do with like the state of what the country's going to go through right now. I think Disney is kind of like already like prepping and preparing the fact that they could be having a slow season during the 70th, and I think that they don't want that. I think they want to try to get as many people there as possible. And also too, Disneyland is starting to get a little bit of that mode of how Walt Disney World is, because eventually Disneyland, I feel like that they're leaning more towards it becoming a traveling multi-day destination.
You know, I have to say real quick about. I'm so sorry. I just want to, so I don't forget. I will say this too. I am very surprised. I've told George this. We've been to Universal a lot lately. Mm-hmm. I am very, very surprised at how many out of country visitors we've seen at Universal. I don't see that over in Disneyland like that. I mean, it's very international in Hollywood, which is surprising to me because I would always think like overseas Disneyland would be the main draw.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing I feel like a way more tourist market like mix at Universal, which is interesting. But go ahead, Will. I'm sorry. Right? It's been crazy.
So before I go back to what George was saying about the competitiveness in the state of the country right now, to what you were just talking about, I think the reason for that is 2 things. One, because like literally Universal is right in LA, right in the fucking heart of LA, right? But the second thing is that, I mean, let's face it, Universal is just cheaper. It's cheaper than Disneyland.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you're someone coming from Japan or Australia, like really almost anywhere else, you have to pay more because of your currency conversion. So if you're like, let's say Australia, right? And let's say you have a budget of 3,000, Australian dollar, which they call them notes, right? And let's say that in the US, your vacation is going to cost you $45 or $5,000 US, but you don't have that. So now you have to get more money. Well, I guess either way you'd have to get more money, because even if your US dollar was 4,000 and you had 4,000 AUD, right? The conversion, because the dollar here is stronger than Australian. So it's like, I think for when I went to Australia, it was like my 200 got me 500. So you have to pay more for the conversion rate if you come from like Australia.
Well, that's even just like with Tokyo or Japan, just in general. Like I was told that converge the currency before actually traveling, because if you converge it actually over in Japan, it's more than if you do it after the fact of leaving the country.
Right. So I think even with the currency conversion, people look at Universal Hollywood like, oh, that's a cheaper park, and it's right here in the heart of LA. Why am I going to drive an hour and so and to go to Anaheim? Yeah, it's Disneyland, but look how fucking expensive it is.
Yeah.
So
it's massively. I mean, we like literally George and I were at FanFest last night, and we were talking about that exact topic. We were talking about how it's way more international at Universal. And you can see it, like you can see like a lot of out of country folks, which is awesome. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like Disneyland Resort doesn't really have that. I mean, they do to some degree, maybe sometimes of the year I see a little more, sometimes a little less, but Universal is consistently showing us that,
Yeah. I don't want to drive off the subject matter too much, but do you also think too, I don't know, because I haven't really paid attention to it prior to them adding Super Nintendo, but do you think once they added that, it became more of a bigger draw of that audience.
It had to have, yeah. A lot of tourism from Asia and stuff. We've seen that. I think the Nintendo thing might have been a big factor in that. Yeah, in my opinion. What say you, Webber? You think Nintendo is part of that draw too?
Yeah, I mean, it could be because you're talking about a product that it's a Japanese product, right? So you add that into a park on Hollywood Studios again in LA, and like literally everyone from across the world looks at California and they think like LA, like, oh, LA, the big Hollywood movies and all this other stuff, right? I mean, my wife growing up, she told me about all the like everything they watched through movies that were pretty much American made almost. There was like different assumptions about the country based off the movies. So everyone's going to Hollywood. It's the big city, right? It's the theme park. You have the tram tour and all that shit, right? This is where the movies are made. Blah blah blah. Now you have a Japanese product inside the park. That's fucking dope. Let's go, right? So that's what I think. But going back to George's point though about the competition though. So here's the thing, George.
Real quick, Webber, you're Spider-Man, bro. There's a lot of activity outside. You might need a. I know.
Yeah, right. This is what happens when you're not on duty and you're doing a recording. All hell's breaking loose.
Hey, George, you have my day off, okay?
I can tell from the sound. Go save the city, Webber.
No, sorry. Oh shit. But anyways, while there's chaos happening outside, folks, I do apologize. I'm off today, so I can't save the city. So George, to your point about Disneyland becoming a multi-destination or a vacation state like Walt Disney World, right? Does this mean that, because I don't know how much in competition Disneyland is with the Good Neighbor hotels, but if Disneyland's going to expand, how many hotels can they really hold on property? Because you have all those hotels surrounding the Disneyland resort that are cheaper most of the time than the Disneyland hotels, and they're just like right across the park. So how is that going to factor into what the prices are going to be, and then what kind of deals they need to make for the hotel guests? Because I'll tell you this, there's no fucking way I'm staying on Disneyland property. That shit's way too expensive to what that shit offers. No way.
That's why I still to this day, I have not yet I stepped foot into a Disneyland hotel, but my ass never landed in any of their beds.
I've done them. I've done. Well, when I was a kid growing up, like that's what my family did. We stayed actually where ESPN Zone is now. Disneyland Hotel used to have villas, which were amazing. They were like little like townhomes or whatever you call them. And you'd walk out, you'd have a little mini backyard with some like lawn furniture basically out there. Right? The villas were fantastic. I was so mad when they got rid of those for ESPN Zone. But we did that probably twice a year. So I've been to Disneyland. I stayed at Disneyland Hotel countless times. Grand Cali, a lot too. I mean, like maybe 9 or 10. Over the years, though. I mean, we're talking over 20 years since it's been there. Whether it be like anniversaries with like ex-girlfriends or things like that, or with my family. But I don't do it on the regular, though. You know what I'm saying? Like the last time I did a Grand Cali was, wow, man, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opening weekend or that opening summer. It was.
I thought. Didn't you say you stayed in a room actually during
the pandemic? You're right. We did. You're right. We did. Me and my ex, we were there in 2021, I think. And we had rooms. We had because like downtown Disney was like they were like door dashing stuff, and we door dashed that Black Tap whatever thing places and they brought over like this bomb hamburger. It was so good. So we had the hamburger. We watched Cruella in the room because Cruella was streaming on Disney Plus, went straight to streaming. So you're right, George, I forgot. Yeah, last time I was in Grand Cali was in 2021ish.
I will say eventually, like I would want to just experience, for the sake of saying that I've stayed there, even if it's like for 1 or 2 nights, depending on which hotel it is, because eventually I would love to do a hotel room review for Citrico Central. I think that would be really cool. But if I'm going to stay there and I'm going to pay that money, I'm hanging out at the hotel, like at the resort. Like I'm not even going to bother even going into the parks, for me anyways, because I can always go to the parks. But for the people that are traveling in, they're going to want that full vacation experience. So is it really worth it to a guest traveling in to spend just to say $700 a night at the Grand Cali on top of the tickets for spending food, souvenirs, merchandise, whatever you're going into the park? Is that going to be a big enough draw? Now, I do know that if they were to add another hotel, I feel like that the only way that they would do that is by adding the third gate, which I say when they add the third gate, not if, because eventually they will.
But George, when they do that though, how do you think this will affect the Good Neighbor hotels though? I mean, in terms of just pricing.
I really honestly don't think it would actually affect them negatively. I think honestly it probably would even help their business. Because even if they were to make a fourth Disneyland Resort hotel that's maybe connected to the third gate, because I mean, it's pretty much a safe bet that the third gate's going to go into the Toy Story parking lot. So if they add in another hotel into that mix, they could have their own private entrance. People would pay probably that, but there are going to be people that don't want to, but it's going to draw people to stay at the Good Neighbor hotels to say, hey, Disney even added another gate. They have a third theme park. Let's stay at the Portofino Inn. Let's stay at the Castle Inn, or one of my favorite places. I'm sorry, folks. It's a Motel 6, but I absolutely love it. It's the Motel 6 Anaheim main gate. I absolutely love it. And the jacuzzi is phenomenal, honestly.
Chef's kiss. Absolutely. Yeah. Disneyland Resort, in order to build a fourth hotel, they have to have a third gate. Like right now, you cannot have 4 hotels and 2 parks. That doesn't work.
No, not at all. And then on top of that, Universal Hollywood is also going to be building their own hotel as well.
They will. Yeah. Yeah, which is going to be very, very interesting. That whole situation is developing, and that's going to change the game, because psychologically, what a Universal hotel will do, even if they don't add a single new ride, which they will, but if let's just say hypothetically they don't, just the existence of the hotel puts it in people's minds. Wow, they have a hotel. I probably need to stay here 2 days, because why would they have the hotel? Right. There must be a lot to do here. Psychologically is what that does, and I think it's going to really help them a lot. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely, OG. Well, and we got this, everybody at home. We got Legoland, and I've been telling these boys that I mean, check this out. Like, okay, so let's put out there, right? Legoland is not a big park like Disney or even Universal. Okay, put out there right now, right on either coast. And they have their own niche theme, which they targeted to kids. In my opinion, that's a mistake, but you know what? They're going to do what they do, right? And they still charge theme park prices, right? Now, like any other company, they will also have discounts and sales and goodies, whatever, on the regular. But check this out. This is interesting, right? So for everybody at home, we're all going to the Lego Festival, as you see on the screen here. We're all going to that next Saturday, May 10th. And if you look at the first slide here, or the first picture, pay for a day, play all summer. So for just $129, the price of one day, you can unlock a whole season of fun at Legoland, California, which is wild to me. So it's like they want everybody to come to this and experience the summer. That's because Legoland is kind of like Disney, dude. They're looking at 2025 as actually a softer year.
Yeah.
And already I'm seeing that when I'm there. It's right. Already a year.
No, exactly. And here's the problem, to kind of touch upon Universal too. I mean, you're right. You're seeing all these companies discounting the summer. They can see the writing on the wall. It can be a soft summer economically. Mm-hmm. Not the best time to open a new theme park, to be honest with you. I mean, now it'll pay off eventually. Like, I do think it's an investment. Obviously, they're not just building Epic Universe for this summer. So it's not like this thing isn't going to make its money back. It absolutely will. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's risky. I mean, it is, and they can't control it. I mean, honestly, Universal, when they started building this thing 4 or 5 years ago, had no idea what the economic environment would be in the summer of 2025. But it is a factor, though. You can't deny it. It's a freaking factor. So
no, it is, and here's the thing: people too, they'll think, oh, Legoland, they're cheaper. I mean, maybe in some ways, but not really. You look at their parking; they charge the same for parking, $35 for their food. Oh, their food is also same theme park pricing food. It is not expensive, the merchandise. It's
Dude,
expensive.
I just came from the LA County Fair for 2 corn dogs and a dessert came to $50.
Exactly. You're looking at these, whatever is a fair, it's a park, they're going to charge you up the ass for anything you buy there, right? And I mean, look and look at the second piece right here, right? Last chance, buy 3 get 1 free annual passes, right? Now, when was the last time you saw that for Disney? So right, I'm looking at this. When you buy 3 gold, platinum, or elite annual passes, you'll get the 4th one free. Okay, and enjoy a year of limited fun, Legoland, California, water park, and sea life aquarium. So they're really trying to get people for Legoland inside their park, especially during summer. This Lego festival, they have never done it before. They've always had like Ninjago weekends, and this is a whole new thing that they're doing for this thing. I mean, guys, look for Disney, we have the 70th anniversary. Right now, we have Fan Fest going on, and then now we have this Lego festival thing happening. These parks are trying to get people into their damn park and spend money and make them.
I would have added SeaWorld, with their food festival, but we're talking about more relevancy.
Oh yeah, George, also food that's actually good. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I was making a joke on in the live chat the other day with Citrico Central because George had a live stream and he has like a promo code he does for Magic Candle Company.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's better Disneyland smells than SeaWorld smells in those candles. I'll tell you that much, bro. You do not want the penguin chum bucket feed candle. No. No way, bro. No way.
Hey guys, you want to experience your own smell from SeaWorld San Diego? We got a box of it for you right here.
Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll take the pirate water. Thank you.
Dude, 100% all the time. But OG and George, any last final thoughts on like these parks? Driving these, these festivities, these pricings, these discounts, whether it's because competition, because the economic factor. What say you, George? We'll start with you.
I think honestly, it's a multitude of things. Everything that you just mentioned. I think it's just the economic challenges that we're facing right now. I feel like competition in general. It's like, and sometimes even a little bit of a mixture of both. It's like they're taking world change, so to speak, and saying, okay, how can we benefit from this by competing with others? So because we're all dealing with, economic change and challenges and what have you, it's like, well, how can we one up on the other to say, oh, who's going to give the best deal to try to get as many people to their park as possible? So it's like a competition within a healthy competition within world challenges, so to speak. I guess that would be the best way to do it. But I mean, at least I could say for all of them, for Disney, for Universal, and honestly, even for Legoland, at least that they're, as companies, they're not giving up. They're trying as much as they can to keep, their establishments afloat, bring people in, hype up the revenue, and, that's a good thing,
Yeah, absolutely. And OG, before I get to you, just one last thing too. And this is where, like, with the opening of Epic Universe, right? The newest theme park since like DCA, and going forward, start with Epic, all these parks are going to have to up their game, including Disney, right? With like the immersiveness, the quality, right? The customer service, right? Like the theming, right? And it's just going to, like, fans are going to expect more and more and more, and it's going to get more in depth until things are to become like so lifelike. I mean, even right now on the Harry Potter ride, people are saying you can't even tell what's a digital screen or what's a screen and what's like a practical effect. So I think that's like really amazing stuff. But OG, good sir, any final thoughts on this topic matter?
Yeah, I mean, this stuff ebbs and flows. I mean, there's going to be seasons where there's economic problems, and these theme parks are going to have to adjust. There's going to be seasons and periods of economic boom, and these companies will adjust. So yeah, I mean, it's rough, and for them, I mean, for us, it's great because we get discounts. But you know, we'll ride the storm. They'll ride the storm, and it'll be fine. You know, things will ebb and flow. And these companies are very smart. They're gonna pull whatever lever they need to pull to sort of ride it out, and they'll be just fine. You know, so yeah,
absolutely, OG.
Really quick though, Ebba, when you had mentioned like with the new Harry Potter ride, like with the technology and everything, that you can't tell of like what's like practically right there and what is like more of a facade. Like that's actually very interesting because I feel the same way about the Kardashians.
Oh, God damn it,
man, yeah, there you go. There you go. Absolutely.
Well, George, hold on a sec. Was that the same way for you when I was in your dream? Like you couldn't tell if it was like real or fake?
You know, actually, believe it or not, yeah, like after I woke up, well, finally, thank God I did wake up, you know, because it was like, and I thought, damn, like that literally felt so real that literally it almost made me piss myself.
I'm still shocked that was the dream he had.
Well, folks, everybody at home, we're all going to be on together, including with Slimer, for a future video, TBD, about lucid dreaming, and we'll talk about dreams and the reality and stuff like that. But,
yes.
But boys, George, OG, thank you so much for coming on. George, where can everybody find you at home on social media, sir?
Absolutely, and Ebbs, thank you for having me on. It's always a great time coming on and discussing things with you gentlemen, so it's always a good time. But if you'd like to find me on social media, you could do so on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me on my home base on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And you could also check out my new YouTube channel, Citrico Central, sister channel to Orange Grove 55.
There we go.
That's OG.
There we go.
Where can everybody find you at home on social media, sir?
You can find me right here on Orange Grove 55, talking shop. We do all theme parks here. We do entertainment. We even do the financial side with Mr. C. Moore Duck. A lot of great stuff over here at OG 55. Whatever you're into, we provide, whether it's parks, studio, financial, corporate, we got it all.
Be careful how you say that, bro. People might be thinking something else too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. You know, exactly. Yeah, no, we keep it entertainment based here. Absolutely. You know?
I mean, like more so, I mean, because we all enjoy cake. So.
We all enjoy cake. I mean, especially during the shutdown, right? But I want to thank you, I want to thank Mr. Webba for having us on today. It was a great Webba vision.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys next time on another Webba Vision here on OG 55.
There we go. And here, you know what? Let's end it Webba style. Here we go.
Oh.
Snapping shots, swinging high, Mr. Weber, the city's alley, Orange Grove, where danger hides with web swing in action. He'll turn the tides, dodging bullets, leaping tall. Weber's here to save us all from the villains, he won't fall.
Thank you for watching OG55. If you aren't already, consider becoming a member today.